Hey guys, welcome to another NWOpening. Today we are looking at one of the scourges of the British High Street store Sports Direct, and it is the Skrull Queen and Super Skrull Marvel Legends 2-pack. I got this for my birthday back when they were like £15. I'm pretty sure you can still get them. It's a pretty cool set from the dark times of Marvel Legends not having a window on them. Don't know to this day how they thought that would never have any backlash to it. I don't think we've unboxed any hidden Marvel Legends on the series before, apart from the Howard the Duck, and in that particular instance, it wasn't not being able to see the figure that meant we ended up with a bit of a rubbish copy. That was kind of just a rubbish figure. But anyway, this is a really cool set, or at least I think it is. This is the kind of thing I would collect if I did collect Marvel Legends, but I don't really have the space, and I don't really know what I would do with Marvel Legends other than, you know, put them on a shelf, whereas my wrestling figures, I'm supposed to animate with them. But I do think this is a really cool pair of figures. We've got the Skrull Queen, of course, which is also Skrull Spider-Woman, and we've got the Super Skrull, which is the Illuminati version of the Super Skrull, which is pretty cool. We've got Avengers Beyond Earth's Mightiest 4+. We've got this portrait image of them on the side, and on the back we have them paused out a little bit. You can see the extra hands, the spare heads, and so on and so forth, the extra arms. Pretty cool. Well, if I got this for my birthday 2 years ago, it's been waiting too long to be unboxed. Although at least with these, part of the reason is, again, I've got no practical use for them and nowhere to store them, so it kind of explains why I don't get around to opening these things. My comic book figures more so than my wrestling figures I'm probably never going to come to actually sell, but then I don't have anywhere to put them, and they're not exactly going to turn up in animations, as I mentioned before, so they just sort of sit on the shelf in box instead, until days like today where I get tired of looking at them. Now, as I've mentioned before, I could live with this sugar paper packaging on the actual figures, but generally speaking, I'm more or less happy for them to do away with the windowless packaging. So first of all, we'll take a look at the Skrull Queen, and we can see she has been put in the sugar paper with the Spider-Woman head on. That's probably a good angle to come straight out the box on, right? It's probably good. Joints are probably in good condition, right? Oh wow, that's some lean. Does she not stand up straight? Oh, she does. She does stand up straight. That leg joint may be a little bit, that hip may be a little bit stiff. Yeah, she does stand up. So there's the Spider-Woman head and body. And some nice little black spots on there. And you can see the little notches in both arms. We'll come back to those later. And there is just the back of the figure. I am definitely concerned about this thing like leaning to one side. I understand that that's the pose they were going for on the box, but yeah, not too sure about that. And her accessories. We've got this little bag with the spider wings. We've of course got the Skrull head. That's quite nicely painted as well, which is always good when you can't actually see the condition of the figure. So if you can get her shoulder to raise high enough, the wings go in the slots on the arms. Maybe I'm dumb, but like, as I'm discovering trying to put it together for you, they don't go in super well. So after a bit of effort, we've got those in there without snapping them, and we've got both arms up. Looks all right from the front, but not so good from behind. I guess they just cross over each other, I guess, maybe. God, I'm suddenly glad I don't animate with Marvel Legends figures, because having to, like, anytime she raises her arms, tuck these back in and so on, tuck it under the hair. Yeah, maybe not. That maybe they're not. They might not be in right. I don't know. I don't know. I sort of lost caring at some point along the way. So we'll pop the regular hot head off. I probably might as well have done this while I was tucking the wings behind it. Yep, definitely should have done it while I was tucking the wings behind it, because now I can't get it off either, and I'm scared to knock the wings off. There we go. Right, Skrull head goes on. In theory. Are we 7 minutes in, and all I've done is looked at most of the first figure. There we go, got that on eventually. Are Marvel Legends usually this janky and uncooperative? I don't know. And of course we have the separate hands as well, which I'm almost terrified to put on at this point after how much of a faff on it's been to put on all the other bits. They're nice though. They're nice toyetic, bright green, translucent plastic. Very appealing to a jamoke like me. Of course, got the yellow glove on the back of the hand as well. At least they were easy to put on. So there we go. There's her with the energy hands, I guess. I don't know what these are for. I guess, are these just shorter wings so she can just have like the little ones? I guess they're the ones you'd put on if you were going to animate with it. And probably the ones I should have put on to begin with. But yeah, we'll do some actual clips of her standing up in a second. For the time being, let's get into the Super Skrull. He's a big bugger. Yeah, size of this guy. He's got one mighty looking face. No pupils on the eyes, but yep, it's done not a bad paint job at all. We've got the Black Bolt helmet, the Doctor Strange. Oh, that just comes right off. We've got the Doctor Strange cape as well. Main character of the Doctor Strange films. We've got the Iron Man chest piece, the Black Bolt torso as well. Yeah, there's not really all that many indicators for other members of the Illuminati, really, is it? It's just Black Bolt, Doctor Strange, and Iron Man. Guess Black Panther, maybe Black Panther gloves, and Professor Xavier's brain. I don't know. One of them becomes more visible when we look at the spare arms, of course, because we've got a Mr. Fantastic arm. But I'll be completely honest, I'm not going to display. Actually, I am going to display it with this arm, so I will put it on. I was going to say I'm not going to display it with that arm, so I'm not going to bother with how much of a faff on the Skrull Queen's business has been, but I am going to display it with the Mr. Fantastic arm, so... Well, it does look faintly ridiculous, but I suppose it's always going to. So that's what it looks like with this Mr. Fantastic arm on. And then I'll put the Iron Man one on as well. We'll want to display it with as much Super Skrull action as possible, even if we're not actually going to be able to display it anywhere for a while, but yeah. It's actually currently just going to be chucked in a box in storage, but yeah. Oh, that one was a little bit more negotiation needed for that one. We've got the Iron Man gauntlet on there. It feels very cheap plastic. One thing I like about these is that it literally says right and left on the arms. That's pretty endearing. And we'll put the cape back on. So that is the Super Skrull. Everything's painted pretty well. So again, no concern from that closed box style packaging. And again, we'll get into some close-ups. Everything much easier to put together for the Super Skrull than for the Spider-Woman. But I suppose she's got all smaller, fiddlier pieces. And yeah, we'll get into some close-ups. When we look at the close-ups of the figures, they look really, really good, which is just as well because they aren't the most practical action figures in the world. Neither of them stands up very well. I would have probably been better off taking the Mr. Fantastic hand off Super Skrull Illuminati, but in this day and age, if you kind of produce an option like that, you should probably manufacture around it. They both look really, really good and would display well if I thought they were actually going to stay up on a shelf, which I don't have high hopes for, given the fact that they are leaning on the ring on some of these pictures just to stay upright. Well, guys, I won't lie, that was never supposed to be the highest quality figure photography in the world, and I never did intend to photograph them in every possible stance and, you know, with every different hand combination, web combination, this, that, and the other. But if I was ever going to do that, I'm pretty sure they would have talked themselves out of it just from the chore of getting Spider-Woman's parts on and from the chore of getting the two of them to stand up and pose those photos. Part of the problem there was my setup to illuminate and take the photos, but they definitely didn't help. How can a figure this big struggle to just stand up? Like, just even now, he's just leaned against the ring. Like, you know, it's not great. So all in all, I think these figures look really good, but yeah, I don't know. The only issue with the Super Skrull is that he won't stand up. Maybe he's unbalanced by having the Mr. Fantastic hand on, I don't know. Even if so, that's bad design, isn't it? The Spider-Woman, again, she looks great. I've still not quite sorted out that hip joint. The web wings, I think, are a bit big, but they're probably in wrong. The hands look good, the heads look good. The little notches to put the web wings in are not really good. And she really doesn't stand up very well, which I'm sure is probably quite a common issue with the women's Marvel Legends figure, but honestly, it brings a lot of credence to the women's wrestling figures. Ironically, this is a bad example because she has a bad leg joint, so she doesn't stand up properly. But gives a lot of credence to the Mattel women's figures that the Marvel Legends ones also struggle to stand up, etc., considering they're actually bigger than the Mattel ones. So all in all, what do I think? I think these are two really nice figures. I don't think that necessarily any of the particular hiccups I've had in this video are necessarily, game breaking or really that big of a deal, quite frankly. You could get stiff heads and stuff on any figure, and there's only so much, you can really do with those web wing notches, although maybe they should have just given us some separate arms with them already attached, because you definitely could just snap those off trying to get them in there. So all in all, what do I think of this set? I'm probably slightly more disappointed with it than I was expecting to be. Just the frustration of trying to get them to stand up and this, that, and the other. They're going to be good on a shelf. And for struggling to get those bits in with Spider-Woman and that. But they are two very good looking figures. And they would look very nice in the Skrull collection if I ever get around to doing that. But that is everything for this video. So if you did enjoy it, please do like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the NWOpening playlist in the end screen for more. And I really do appreciate you guys joining me. So thank you all for watching and goodbye.